Yeah, just gonna, do me a favor, you put these on the steps, and one on this landing facing that way, toward the corner, and then the other on the other step facing.
Vinny is not pleased. Do not disturb Vinny. He is the ghost whisperer.
Yeah, so like if you, let me see this. Yeah, I got it.
So I'm turning on the REM pod right now. Put this right in the middle of the floor. Okay. I'm also going to turn on this vibration ball. I'm going to put it on the couch. Who has a K2 meter? Okay, you're going to see that there's a button right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Click that. It's going to calibrate for a second. It's going to flash. Okay. That's just the heat. Okay. Let me take one of the, let's put one of the K2 meters on the floor. There you go. Okay. Now if you notice, Tiffany's was just flashing to orange. Okay?
Mine's too.
So why don't we put those on the floor just so we know it's not you. I'm gonna let you know right now, if you have your phone on, it might set it off if you're getting an incoming or outgoing message or anything like that, just so you know. So just so we can debunk it once you put them on the ground. There you go. Okay, cool. All right. Now we're going to begin, okay? Now, as with anything, you have to do this with respect and dignity because you're going into someone's home, okay? So what we do, as silly as it may sound, we just welcome ourselves and we introduce ourselves, okay? If anyone's here with us tonight, my name is Vinny. Hopefully you know me by now. I've been doing this for a while here. I'm with some friends. We mean no disrespect, no harm. We just want to learn more about you. They want to learn about you. If at any point you want to make yourself known, you can make any of these devices light up. They're not going to hurt you in any way. I have a device up here on the settee as well. That's not going to hurt you. If you want to make a sound, if you want to speak to us, you can do so. If anyone's upstairs or down the hall or downstairs, that's the heat. Okay, both K2 meters just went off. So the interesting thing about these is that these measure an EMF, so electrical magnetic field. Okay, so to put that simply is if you were to put that near like a fan while it was running, like an oscillating fan, you'll see that that motor would emit high enough electricity that it would make these jump to like orange and red. It would stay like red on red, okay? What's weird about this though is when they just kind of fluctuate and go back and forth. I'm not sure what could be doing that, okay? Now, as I said, a good investigator debunks as much as possible, but you know, so I'm not going to say that's definitely a ghost. I don't speak in definites. I speak in, you know, it's, you know, I'll preface with saying it's believed, supposedly, but this is super interesting, okay? So something that we often see helps bring about activity is when we start to talk about the history of the house and its residents as well. It's kind of like their way of saying, hey, yeah, that's me that you're talking about. This is my house. If at any point I hear something or y'all hear something, just say hold. Everyone stop moving, okay? So just to give a really quick intro to the house. So this is the oldest house in Manhattan. It was built in 1765 by a retired British colonel. His name was Roger Morris. This was his summer getaway. He had fought in the French and Indian War. He fought alongside General Washington. And after the war, he comes up here with his wife and his kids, and they build his house. And a few years later, the revolution breaks out, And they say, the British want him to go back to fighting. He goes, no, I'm good, I did all that. So he takes off back to England. General Washington is getting beat up out in Brooklyn, Long Island, so he sends his troops ahead to this house because he knew it was the second highest point in New York, so it was going to be a vantage point for him. So Washington comes here, he's here for 5 weeks during September and October, and he has one of his first major victories here at the Battle of Harlem Heights. But he is almost captured by the British. So he takes off, the British come in, and they have the Hessian soldiers, who were the German mercenaries fighting on behalf of the British, come and they stay in the house. So during the Revolution, this house housed all sides of the Revolution. After the war, it becomes a tavern. It's owned by 2 farmers. It's called Calumet Hall. And then after that, it lays vacant for about 15 to 20 years. And then in 1810, Stephen Jumel, he's a French wine merchant, buys the house as a wedding present to his wife, Eliza Jumel. Now, Eliza, her maiden name was Bowen. She's from Providence, Rhode Island, and she grows up pretty poor. She comes to New York to become an actress, and she meets Stephen at the theater. She actually helps Stephen triple his worth. She's self-taught in French. She starts collecting artwork, helps him, like I said, develop his real estate business, and she becomes one of the first female landowners in the country. Yeah. Stephen passes away in 1832. A year later, she remarries former Vice President Aaron Burr. Now, at that time, she's in her 50s and he's in his 70s. He's already killed Hamilton. So his name is kind of ruined, but he's got the name and she's got the money. So they get married right in this parlor right here. They're together for about 8 months. The K2s, as I'm talking about the wedding. They were married for about 8 months, and she realized 2 things. 1, he was spending her money to cover his legal debts, and 2, he was taking an interest in a 24-year-old girl. So she files for divorce. Takes 2 years to go through. The week it's to be finalized, he has a stroke. The day there to appear in court, he passes away. Wow. So she goes on as the widow of the former vice president, not the ex-wife. She dies in 1865 at the age of 90 in the house in her bedroom upstairs. 2 other families come stay in the house, the LaPrince family, the Earl family, and it becomes a museum in 1904. So that's the history of the house in a nutshell. One other thing of note, Washington returns here after he becomes president with his cabinet. So in this building you have Hamilton, Jefferson, Washington, Adams, Knox, all of their families, the children, their wives were all here for a big banquet July 9th. Yeah, so pretty intense history. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to head into the parlor. So everyone just pick up a K2. We're going to leave the red pot right there. So if you have a K2 meter, let's put one on this right here. Let's put another one on the couch, please. And then let's put another one on this chair right here. I'm going to put the vibration ball on the mantle.
That is going nuts.
Yeah.
Yep. So where's the other K2 meter? Tiff, can I see it?
Mm-hmm.
We'll just put it right there. Okay. Now, this is always very fascinating. This room is very, very charged, and I don't know why. So let's take a look at it from a paranormal standpoint, okay? Now, as you can see, these are staying on red, okay? These pieces of furniture were constructed by a furniture maker. His name is Duncan Fife. Eliza Jumel commissioned him to make these pieces of furniture for this house. So these were built before electricity even existed for homes, okay? So can someone tell me why these pieces of furniture that are just wood, stuffing, okay, this fabric right here, are so electrically charged? Okay, it's not a magic trick. There's nothing in them, around them, under them. From a logical standpoint, I don't really have an answer. It's just always very fascinating.
What is this room?
This room is the front parlor. This is where they would have entertained. Eliza Jumel married her second husband, Aaron Burr, in this room. Okay? So it's believed that, so we see this activity, right? We see that there's something obviously around them to make them going off like this, okay? Now, I'm not saying that it's definitely a ghost, but this is definitely interesting. So why might they be still here? Well, this could be something that's considered a trigger object. Did you turn the light down?
Mm-mm.
Did it do that on its own?
Yeah.
I think you might have touched the dial.
No.
Is that?
Because if I touch the dial, it'll happen gradually. It just like the light got sucked out.
Does this thing charge?
No battery.
I don't know, are there new batteries?
Yeah, pretty good. This is the dial though. That's me now.
Okay, that was interesting. So just keep an eye on that. So things like furniture, beds, artwork, they could be what's considered a trigger object, so it's something that was owned by that person or resembles something that was owned by that person. Similar to that is something called a Singapore effect. That's when you recreate a sound or an action or a movement or something that would have been synonymous with that spirit's lifetime. We try that a lot here with singing, especially in this room. We've had people
Yeah,
do.
this thing's going nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very common. Especially a lot of electrical equipment, when like TV crews and stuff like that, their stuff gets zapped out pretty quickly. The only real theory is that it's their way of trying to like manifest and just drain energy, but it's kind of, there's no real explanation for it. I just did an investigation in Kentucky this summer, and all of our equipment on the team, like one by one, was like killed off.
Damn.
So, brand new batteries right out of the package. So, does anyone have any questions, not only for me, but for anyone who might be here?
Yes. Hello, I'm Angel. I was born and raised in this city, and I just want to say hello and thank you for welcoming me and my friends here. You have a lovely home. It's very beautiful, and the lovely people here have been taking good care of it. And I just, if you can, just tell us about the good times you guys had here. Sounds like a really fun room. I see the really cool piano you guys have. Yeah. Okay, those are great stories, guys. Or do you know of any stories of like anything interesting like that happened here?
Like, historically?
That doesn't have to be historically, like.
Well, this is a room that Eliza marries Aaron Burr in. What's always difficult to try to remember is that, it's one thing to hear, oh, Washington was here, oh, Aaron Burr was here, but like, if you actually stop and think about it, it's like, wow, they were in the same rooms that I'm in. They walked on the same floors that I'm walking on, and it's just, that's mind-boggling, that this thing still exists in like functional condition too, like on a daily basis we use it.
What has been changed or updated here?
So this wallpaper, again, I'm not a curator, so I just know through like osmosis from hearing a lot of it, but for the most part, this wallpaper is like, I'm gonna say from at least the 70s, 1970s, so it's not historic. What is interesting though, the furniture in the house is original to the house. As I said, Morris-Jumel commissioned Duncan Fife, who was a very prominent New York City furniture maker at that time, to make the furniture in this room and the furniture that you see in the other room, the octagon room. Right now we're in the midst of a 5-year restoration, and that's everything from the outside to the furniture to the wallpaper. And we're able to do that based off of primary sources that Eliza wrote Stephen while I was on business in Europe, saying, hey, I know these patterns on wallpaper are available, bring them back with you. So it's been really cool for us to recreate what she would have been looking at, what she personally picked out. Yeah.
What about the kids? Are there any kids here?
So there would have been children here with the Morrises. They had several kids. And then the Jumels did not have children. Eliza eventually would go on to adopt her sister's grandchildren, but she never had any kids of her own. Uh-huh.
Was Eliza fond of Hamilton?
Alexander Hamilton?
Yeah.
There's the old legend that after she goes to divorce Burr, that she actually solicits the legal advice of Hamilton's son. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I forget the name, but we, yes. But we think that that's just an urban legend that someone came up with because that'd be a great story of revenge. But I mean, they probably knew each other in some capacity. I mean, you know, they all kind of knew each other. It's kind of a tight-knit circle here in the city. So yeah,
How did they get around from here?
carriages.
Pretty
Yeah,
up north.
yeah, a lot of carriages. It would have been, so when Aaron Burr would come up here to propose to Eliza, it would take him 3 hours to get here
From where?
from downtown. Yeah, we're 11 miles from downtown, so.
Oh my God.
No Uber.
Imagine.
What's up with that light?
I don't know, but when this one continues to like flicker red, that's when this one gets hit pretty hard.
Is someone making that light turn off? Do you not like that? If you don't like that, can you make the little ball on the mantle light up? That'd be crazy if it goes.
It happened in the dining room.
Yeah. Let's head over there. Let's also keep in mind we have the REM pod in the hallway, so if you hear that going off, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab these if you wanna grab those. Someone wanna grab the little ball on the mantle as well? It's got a light up in the section.